Hausmann test, we found that the fixed effects model is more appropriate for this kind of analysis. In this case, we found a positive relationship between the industry value added and the carbon dioxide emissions. That means that that industry actually causes, even though through the panel bar, we didn't conclude this, but through this kind of models, we can see that it is a positive relationship between these two variables and the coefficient is highly significant. Concerning the environmental tax, we also found a negative relationship between these two variables. That means that raising the environmental tax decreases the carbon dioxide emissions. And renewable energy is also negatively related with the carbon dioxide emissions. That was actually expected. So if we invest in the renewable energy, it means that it will decrease the carbon dioxide emissions in this set of countries. And also, the real GDP is positively related with carbon dioxide emissions. That is also expected, actually, as it was said previously. As the income rises, it means that the carbon dioxide emissions rises as well until a point, but I said that this study is again under investigation. Even we are going to incorporate the Kuznets curve in order to see after a point what will happen with the coefficient. And these are actually the results of this empirical study. In the conclusion, I can say that based on the obtained results through the static models, we can conclude a positive relationship between industry value added and production-based carbon dioxide emissions, whereas a negative relationship with environmental tax and renewable energy supply, whereas development of environment-related technologies and production-based carbon dioxide emissions are also negatively correlated, whereas GDP per capita growth is positively correlated with the carbon dioxide emissions. Thank you for your attention. Any questions will be welcome.
Thank you, Professor Violeta. It was really a very comprehensive, very informative presentation. So now we are moving on with the next presenter. It is Mr. Abel Pausch. Please share with us your presentation.
Thank you very much. Now from the development country of the OECD, let's come to Macedonia to see how we are doing with the circular economy here and what is the potential of our economy. So I'm going to present myself. My name is Abel Pausch. I come from the educational sector. I'm economist, but come from the educational sector. I am a teacher in high school, so my presentation is going to be the role of education in promoting circular economy in the Republic of North Macedonia. So why I start to, from where is coming the idea to do this paper research is from mobility that we are doing in high school with the KI2, with the circular economy, with digital entrepreneurship and something like that. And we made here with our partners, we made here, how to say, the questionnaire, and we monitoring the situation of the circular economy in Macedonia. We came with interesting data here in our country. So I'm going to skip with the introduction of circular economy because we are all economists here and we know why this is why we are here. So why I do this research aim to explore the dynamic of access in the existing state of education system in North Macedonia for doing circular economy. I'm going to give you one fact that I was not putting here in my research paper. So potential of Macedonia, our country, to earn from the circular economy with this condition, how we are, and with this law and with this curriculum is approximately $200 million per year. So we are not using this thing, and this is very bad thing. So with this condition, I'm not saying after we do the creative industry, after we do that thing, renewable energy, and so on, for only for what we are losing for 1 year because we are not doing circular economy, or we don't have approach and entrepreneurship spirit for this kind of economy. So I'm going to skip also the literature review because I don't want to repeat the other researcher. So I'm going to start with the methodology of how we are promoting the education in our country. So we collect data from the survey, from the interview of 35 institution in our country, and also with a student who are in a university, in undergraduate, graduate student, and also in a high school. So then we structured questionnaire normally with our partner organization. There was like professional questionnaires. And then we start to see the existing curriculum when we examine the discern and extension of integration of circular economy in the themes, in the topic that we can put in our curriculums, programs. We call in our country programs, plan and programs. So when I said curriculum is much more that in university, but we use programs in high school. Then what we saw in this with the results, because I want to use SPSS to see the trend of what we are doing, but I stop here because, for example, in a curriculum for waste management or for the topic related to the waste management, they are including only 5% in educational curriculum, only 5%. And that from resource efficiency, 7%. Circular business model, they are not existing in our curriculums. Renewable energy, they are 4%. Sustainable designing is very important, 3%. And when we go to eco-innovative, because it's normally, when you see this kind of number, you're going to see that we are not innovative enough for eco-innovative thing, and they are missing in the curriculum that we see. So when we do the questionnaire among the students, it's interesting that the secondary student that we examine that, and we survey in that questionnaire, that just only 18%, 18% that they are awareness about the circular economy, about the creative economy, about the entrepreneurship in green economy. Undergraduate students, they are little bit better. They are 40% that they are aware. So I'm not speaking that they have curriculum about circular economy, but they know that exists something like circular economy. And graduate students, they are 55% that they know about the circular economy, about the green economy, green entrepreneurship, etc. We have also green marketing in that questionnaire. So so from the major of that student, they are only environmental science, they are awareness about things about 55%. Business and economic student, they are 35%, and engineering is very disappointed, 22%. They are awareness about this kind of circular economy. And arts and humanitarian studies, only 15%. So what is the discussion? Why we do? Then we start to speak about this thing, and why we said that we must do promoting circular economy in our educational system, because we have implication in curriculums. Our curriculums are very old and they are creating in the old-fashioned way. So the innovation approach of the problem. I have one topic for the PISA, and when we see the results of the innovative approach of solving the problem from our student, that was very disappointing. So we don't have this kind of curriculum to give the student the innovative approach for resolving the problem. And for our country, resolving the problem is the green economy or green agenda. So 200 million is not not a little thing to do in our country. And then the student knowledge was something that is disappointed in this study. And then the other thing, the policymaker in our country, etc. When we start to do this thing and we do the recommendation of what to do in our country, so we must do course designing for this kind of thing. I know that entrepreneurship is not something that we can learn at school, but we can start to, to motivate students to have some different approach on circular economy. This is very, very important in our recommendation, interdisciplinary approach, because if you see in our educational system, the subjects are very divided by themselves. For example, if teacher of math and teacher of biology, they're not collaborating between them, or economy teacher with a teacher of language, native language, they are not cooperating with the curriculums. They said, I don't have idea nothing about math or biology or something like that. They have some related topic who can do that thing that entrepreneurship approach of solving problem, or creative approach of solving problem. Practicing learning, that is something that we know in service training, pro-service training, that we must give to our teachers in a high school and elementary school. We don't go to elementary school, maybe we can find terrible number there, but in a high school we don't have this kind of approach for our teachers. Material. I know in our country we have problem with the material, with the books, etc., but we must have resource material, because we can find, if in a European country is a target for circular economy and creative economy to be 30% of GDP in that country, and our country is 0. So we must have some approach to have resource material to do this thing. National strategy, the problem is coming from there. So they don't make some curriculums, programs for our students, so they don't have idea about solving the problem in that way, in an innovative way. I'm going to take just one example for Estonia. When we see our partners, when we saw our partners in Estonia, how they do the reuse, recycling and reusing the material, it was fantastic. They are about 25% of the GDP of Estonia was in a way of a circular economy, of a green economy, and digitalization of the country, this kind of thing. Curriculum guidelines, not just writing beautiful curriculum, but you must have guidelines how to use the curriculum, how to use the program, the teacher and also student. And Teacher training in that curriculum and initiative that they are related with the circular economy, we have opportunity in our country to do this thing. I told you about the potential of, we have public awareness, partnership with the organization, with the university, with a non-profit organization, school community programs that we are missing in our school community program. If in a PISA testing we have, for example, a problem with the bees to have in a school and to watch about the bees for the student in our country, we cannot do nothing in the community of the country of our school. And it's very important, the regional collaboration. We are a small country and we are dependent on our neighbor and how in our neighborhood can do that initiative that can make that circular economy to be, to use, for example, waste management can be very good with our country, how to use the waste and how to manage this thing at Surasala. So conclusion, promoting circular economy in Macedonia is very important. How I said that is opportunity to do business in our country, to earn money. Then the study relieves that the current educational landscape in North Macedonia is ill-equipped to meet this challenge, and there's a significant gap in a curriculum and awareness about the student. They are not aware, and the lack of focused politics in this field of green economy. They always speak about green economy or green agenda, but they are not focused in this thing. Moreover, lack of focus of circular economy in education is not just a domestic issue. We cannot do only here and not with our neighbor. It reflects a wider regional trend as evidenced by similar gaps in a neighborhood country, for example, like country like Serbia or Croatia, because they have much bigger economy and they can have much big impact in a circular economy. Thank you very much. If you have some question, I can answer. I use my Professor Majova, I'm using the other data for making another paper research. So these are enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bausch. And you really discover all the gaps in education on all the levels, second and. But I'm very happy to announce that probably our faculty will come with a new study program about the environment protection. So probably the things will start to move on.
We must start from somewhere. From some
somewhere.
From some point.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now I'm inviting Dielza Bilali to share with us her presentation. Dielza, the mic. Thank you.
Okay, so hello everyone. First, I would like to thank you for being here. My name is Dielza Bilali, and today I will present the paper investigating the relationship between renewable energy sources, carbon emissions, and green GDP, case of North Macedonia. So, as we know, energy production, distribution, and consumption, while necessary for economies to keep running, unfortunately, they put pressures on the environment, and these pressure differs based mostly on how energy is produced, supplied, and consumed. And unfortunately, this poses a big challenge on achieving the sustainable development goals and sustainable development growth. because most of the, let's say, energy models are unsustainable. So analyzing these three factors, which I analyzed in this paper, the renewable energy supply, carbon emissions, and GDP, it's very interesting because it helps us to understand whether an economy is making progress into achieving green growth. Um, there are a lot of studies which investigate the relationship between these factors, and most of them have found a significant relationship amongst them. But what this study is brings something additional to the literature is that it's considering the green GDP as instead of the regular traditional GDP. So why I took so three indicators were analyzed. So the first one is renewable energy supplied as percentage of total energy supplied. Why this indicator is taken is because it's considered one of the indicators to measure green growth according to the OECD database. And the relationship between all these three indicators was analyzed during first making a correlation analysis and then making a regression analysis. So three hypotheses were tested. So the first one is that there is no significant relationship between renewable energy supplied and annual carbon emission. The second one is that there is no significant relationship between, or there is, between carbon emissions and green GDP. And the third hypothesis is used to investigate the relationship between renewable energy supplied and green GDP. So before we move on with the analysis, these are the trends of all these indicators in our country. So the analyzed period starts from 1990s until 2019. So as we can see on the first graph, annual carbon emissions are expressed in million ton. And as we can see for our country, during the analyzed period, on average, the carbon emissions are decreasing, while renewable energy supplied as percentage of total energy supplied, even though it's making slight progress, still it's quite low in our country. And green GDP, it's expressed in $1 million, it's increasing. So first, I was very curious to see how these indicators are correlated with each other. So as you can see from the results, we can see that a renewable energy supplied and annual carbon emissions they have a moderate negative relationship among themselves, and meaning that if renewable energy increases, carbon emissions are expected to decrease. Then we can see that renewable energy supplied and green GDP, they have a moderate positive relationship amongst them. And given that renewable energy supplied would increase, the green GDP is expecting to increase. While the most, let's say, significant relationship, it was taken when we consider the annual carbon emissions and green GDP. So they are very highly, strongly correlated. So that if carbon emissions, they decrease, the green GDP is expected to increase. Some of the key findings of this study is that firstly, it was analyzed the relationship between renewable energy and carbon emissions, and as we can see, is that these results show that they are very statistically significant, and almost 43% of the variance of the carbon emissions can be explained by the renewable energy supply. And given that our country increases its renewable energy supply by 1% as a percentage of total energy supply, the carbon emissions are expected to lower by 0.4 million carbon ton. Then, according to these findings, we can accept our first hypothesis that there exists a significant relationship between renewable energy and carbon emissions. To test the second hypothesis, the carbon emissions and green GDP were analyzed. So in this case, green GDP is the dependent variable, and carbon emissions is the independent variable. And as we can see, even from before these, are very highly correlated, and that almost 72% of the variation in the green GDP can be explained due to changes in the carbon emissions, and that given that carbon emissions, if they increase by 1 million ton, the green GDP is expected to decrease by $1.4 billion. So again, this model is highly statistically significant, so that we can accept our second hypothesis that there is a significant relationship between these two variables. And lastly, I was again wanted to see how these two indicators, the renewable energy supply and green GDP, whether there is a relationship among them two. And as we can see, only approximately 29% of the variations in the green GDP can be explained by the renewable energy supply. But given that renewable energy increases by 1% in our country, the green GDP is also expected to increase by $592 million. So in conclusion, we can say that the relationships among these indicators are highly significant, that there exists some relationship between this indicator, but this only serves as a base to further research this topic and also consider other factors which might impact the carbon emissions or the green GDP. So thank you for the attention. If you have any questions, I would be happy to reply. Thank you.
Thank you, Dilsa. Thank you, Dilsa, for this comprehensive, very informative presentation. Now I'm inviting Mrs. Gülara Alkacir, sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly, from Turkey to deliver your presentation.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sharing my presentation now. Thank you. I'm Gülara Alkacir. I'm working at the Turkish Ministry of Culture and Tourism as an expert. Also, I'm a PhD candidate at Ankara University. Firstly, I would like to thank to Balkan University, Oslo Technical University, and SEPIP Conference Committee, and also my term project advisor, Dr. Ozan Gülhan. My research is about research on the antecedents of green investment, green bonds investment environment, investor engagement. Economic development has given birth to a period of crisis that resulted in environmental conditions. As you know, ecological problems and environmental degradation cause unsustainable development. So, countries are trying to find green economic solutions in order to reduce environmental problems. In order to cope with the crisis of climate change, financial system needs to be restructured. As an extension of these efforts, green bonds have started to find a place in the financial markets of countries. The importance of the study, green bonds are one of the most important innovations in the bond market. From what I see in the literature, only a few academic studies have been done on green bonds in the last decade, output of sustainable finance. This analysis aims to explore what attracts investors and issuers to invest in green bonds. This research aims to determine how the green bond market is growing rapidly and how the relationship between market participants and green bonds is realized. We are researching this by using the investors of green bonds traded in the Borsa Istanbul, Istanbul Stock Exchange as an example. We also explore how green bonds market creates more sustainable economic activity. The importance of the study is that the study explores the impact of investment assets for green environmentally friendly bonds on investment behavior and investor engagement in green bonds. Also, it is searching impact of investor engagement in green bonds on investment behavior. As we know, there are some improvements sustainability, and these like the Paris Climate Change Agreement, UN Sustainable Development Goals, EU Green Deal, then financial improvements for sustainable finance, like that. Behavioral finance is a concept which shows how the financial decisions of the households, markets, and organizations is being affected by their psychology. Individuals attribute more meaning to losses than the same amount of gains, avoiding risks, and show loss aversion behavior. As you know, behavioral finance aims to be understood more realistically. Individuals incorporating behavioral and emotional patterns into decision-making process. Here we go, green finance. Green finance is a phenomenon that combines business and finance with an environmentally friendly approach. Green finance thinks more about the benefits of ecological environment and environmental protection industry, unlike traditional financial activities. Green finance is an innovative financial model that makes the resource use sustainable. And green financing also by green bonds has become a crucial route forward finance for the environmental problems to solve. Green financing is modern solution to the goal for green achievement also. What is green financing in Turkey? In 2021, the Turkish Ministry of Commerce, to harmonize with Europe, has published a detailed plan to achieve Green Deal standards. In this direction, legislation determining the sustainability of investments will be enacted. Turkey has established a sustainable finance framework to support its sustainability commitments and provide green, social, and sustainable financial tools. These sustainability 25 indexes, which include the share of companies traded in Borsa Istanbul with high organization sustainability performance. The debt instruments that are issued to provide financial resources for green projects and that provide environmental benefits are called green bonds. Green bonds is used to finance projects aimed to mitigating the effects of climate change and focus on renewable energy infrastructure projects that support low carbon emission and public projects. So, green bonds promise innovations and ways to reallocation of funds. Green bonds are also seen as a sustainable risk management supported by increased climate awareness in finance and economy. The most important motivating factor in environmental practice is the attitudes of entrepreneurs. Long-term sustainable financial returns are provided by environmentally friendly green investment activities that reduce pollution. Green investment policies increase this environmental awareness. Thus, the company's green investment portfolio expands and enables the implementation of green innovation initiatives. My research questions were applied to investors who had bonds purchased from the Istanbul Stock Exchange between 1st November and 30th December 2022. This questionnaire was sent to approximately 350 people, And 108 of them answered the questionnaire. 7-point Likert scale and 26 question was used. Regression analysis and structural equation modeling were applied with the SEPIP program in this research. After the research, we can see our demographic results like gender, professions, education, age, and our hypothesis like that. H1 and students of green investment have a positive effect on green investment behavior, and H2 has 3 hypotheses because of the variables of incidence of green investments. And incidence of green investment have a positive effect on investor engagement for green bonds. And finally, H3, investor engagement for green bonds has a positive effect on green investment behavior. Our model, like that, it's independent and dependent variables. After the structural application modeling, we harmonize these informations and we have analysis chart also. We can see the results of the SAM. According to analysis results, H1 is partially accepted and environmental attitude and perceived behavioral efficiency affect green investment behavior positively. Perceived responsibility doesn't affect green investment behavior. For H2A is partially supported, H2B is supported, H2C is partially supported also. For H2-1, incidence of green investment have a positive effect on investor engagement. Incidence of green investment don't affect investor engagement for behavioral only. For H2B, incidence of green investment, according to the variable of perceived responsibility, have a positive effect on investor engagement with cognitive and emotional variables and behavioral also. For H2C, incidence of green investment have a positive effect on investor engagement also. Incidence of green investment don't affect investor engagement for behavioral. Can say. Also, H3 is partially supported. Investor engagement for green bonds has a positive effect on green investment behavior. Also, investor engagement doesn't affect green investment behavior. After our analysis results, we can conclude that there is a relationship among incidence of green investment, investor engagement for green bonds and green bonds investment behavior. This study shows us that the importance of preferring green bonds as an investment tool is increasing day by day. In the world where environmental concerns also affect investors, we predict that the popularity of corporate bonds will increase in financial markets with finance environmentally friendly investment. Thank you for your attention. And if there are any questions, my email address is here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Alkacir. It was really a good presentation. Now we are moving to Mr. Mitarvan from Hungary. I saw your chat message here. So if you are available, if everything is okay, please share with us your presentation and please mind the time.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm going to share my screen. My name is Mittawan Pomsalat. I'm from University of Public Service in Hungary. My topic today is the analysis of the challenges of the European Union renewable energy transition and a European Green Deal perspective. And the aim of my research is to analyze the European Union challenges in the sustainable energy transition. And the second is to evaluating the effectiveness of the EU sustainable development goal. First, I'm taking you to the importance of the research. I have reviewed more than 40 papers, and this is what I conclude the importance of this research topic. First, European Commission in 2019 has said that the European Green Deal represents a significant shift in the scale and the ambition to transform the EU into climate neutral continent by 2050. And second is from Ecologics Institute 2019 also said that to achieving this objective will not be easy and challenges will arise. A strong EU level actions will be needed to help resolve the issue related to solidarity and security of energy supply and energy system to competitiveness and innovations. And from IEA previously this year also said that accelerating energy transitions investment will help Europe to limit the independence of the major energy fossil fuel producers and also the often volatile fuel market. And the last one is from the research of Mohammed Kassouf, 2023, the distribution of energy resource can lead to significant social, environmental, and economic inequality. This is the part of the reasons why I do the research about this topic. And this topic, the study conducted by using the combination of the secondary research methodology to investigate the past and ongoing situations and the progress. What is could be a new regulation to regulate and help EU energy transition, and also the implementation of the strategy, the time frame of the analysis. Basically, the data we have is from 2020, but the paper is analysis from 2010, 2020, and I forgot to include that we also analysis from 2023. And the study data from the database mainly is from Scopus, and the statistic mainly is from Eurostat and also the International Energy Agency, BP Statistical Review of the World Energy, and the research question. This is like a small research that we have only two research questions. First is what are the challenges in the sustainable energy transition, and what can be made sure the effectiveness of the EU to the sustainable development goal. And as EU try to fight with the climate change in 2019, the European Green Deal has been implemented. And this is some part of the European Green Deal, and the part of the European Green Deal to achieve the goal to be climate neutral. In the energy transition is the main part of the of the implementing and change. EU have less independent energy as the war Russia and Ukraine happened. European Union also have this kind of time with the energy price higher, and also to create the European internal energy market and create the great opportunity for the country to work together to achieve the energy transition. And European energy transition previously has been center of the debate following the post-pandemic, the surge in power price in 2021, and related to the Russian-Ukraine war. This is the what research find to show that how first one introduce that how the world consumptions of the energy we could see that the renewable energy also start to increase, and the oil has been decreased a bit, and also the coal and the natural gas. And the European Union country has grow in renewable energy generations. As we see in this data that Germany grew by 5.9% in 2021, and followed by Spain 2.6 and France 1.7. And renewable energy is based on the gross generation from renewable source, geothermal, solar, biomass, and wind. And here, the country that leads the transition lead by Cyprus, like in 2021, is increased by 28.1%. And Hungary, as Hungary mainly we are dependent energy from Russia, but the positive point here is Hungary also increased the renewable energy by source and grow new source by 26.4%, and followed by Netherlands. And in conclusion, I want to point that European Green Deal provides a unique opportunity for the country, for the member states here in European Union to becoming the climate neutral by 2050, and also help the EU in boosting economy and help to decrease dependent energy from outside. And the energy transition could offer economic benefits such as the job creation, economic growth, and also, of course, the most important point is to reduce the CO2 emissions, because to be successful transitions, strengthen the regions and the energy security. And the research show the European Union has made a significant progress in increasing the share of renewable energy. Is 2021 in overall is increased by 25.9 in 2021. And last thing, the research identified the challenges, and of course, it's not easy to be the sustainable energy transition. It's not easy, and EU also lack of the raw material in the process of the transitions, and also lack of the adequate infrastructure, interconnection, and the high cost and low competitiveness. And some renewable energy, like of raw materials such as like rare earth and the cobalt. To produce cobalt is mainly to produce the battery. That EU tried to be a leader in transition of the electric car, electric energy, and also the environmental impact of renewable energy project. And the research suggests that the European Union needs to address the challenge by implementing coherent, comprehensive policy framework that support the requirement the renewable energy source, foster the innovation, cooperation, and also digital to help the EU to achieve the goal. And the last thing is the future study. This study also has many limited data, and also in the future, the research might be focused on the indifferent industrial and the political and social factor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Mitterman, and thank you for your research. We are really looking for your paper to see this research in detail. Now I'm inviting Assistant Dita Mustafa to present her findings of the research.
Thank you, Professor. Hello, everyone. I'm Edita Mustafa from International Balkan University. My topic for today is regarding the contribution of households in implementing circular economy, focusing on North Macedonia. So, as the previous professor mentioned that we are all familiar with circular economy, it's way different than the traditional linear model of production, consumption, and waste. The purpose of circular economy is basically to have the resources which are found in economy to keep them in society as long as possible. This is by reducing, basically having less resources for production than reusing them through the process of recycling. North Macedonia is also actively involved in this model, let's say, but my focus, along with all the, let's say, state initiatives that are used in North Macedonia, I have focused on the contribution of households. It's important to note that in 2020 in North Macedonia, there was in the center municipality, it was the project called vending machine as called Trash for Money. It was an interesting initiative as people were motivated to recycle as by using plastic cans or bottles, they were taking in return a small amount of money. As I have reviewed the literature, I have found that basically the most important changes come from the smallest choices. So other than governmental initiatives, systemic and industries, it is very important that us as consumers in our households, in our everyday preferences, have in mind circular economy and the environment and the reduction of waste. This way I will skip this for the sake of our time, and I will move to the research methodology, which is basically after reviewing the literature that exists, I have prepared a questionnaire which was sent to 85 households located in North Macedonia. And I wanted to gather information on how informed and how often do they practice small habits of a circular economy in their daily life. So, firstly, the questionnaire was about how often do they purchase second-hand products such as clothing, household appliances, and furniture. The idea of this question is that by using second-hand products, we will basically, in a way, contribute to less production and less waste. So unfortunately, 51% of our respondents have declared that they never practice the behavior of purchasing second-hand products. And maybe this is as we have many choices which have a range of prices. We have small prices to purchase new products. So this is a consequence that we are not so interested into purchasing second-hand products, starting from us from clothing and home appliances and furniture. Moving on, the second question was regarding borrowing and sharing products like home appliances to avoid additional waste. As the saying says, sharing is caring. We want to borrow and share products or home appliances in order to have, in an indirect way, the reducing of waste. Here as well, we have a high percentage that our respondents never practice this behavior, which is around 38%. Sometimes it's only 22%, and respondents that declared that in a regular basis practice this behavior are only of around 4%. Moving on, about our purchasing behavior again. I wanted to see how informed are households in terms of purchasing models or home appliances that are environmentally friendly. Let's say washing machines, dishwashers, all the models that have the newest features for reducing water waste and reducing energy waste. So in a regular basis, we have 34% of respondents that practices behavior which is not bad. It still has space to improve and to be in a more frequent way, but still, often still we have respondents with 33% that have declared that they often practice this behavior, and sometimes we have 24%. We can see that there is a small percentage of households that rarely or never practice this behavior, which means that we are quite informed about the benefits of home appliances that have environmentally friendly benefits, that have features that will help for reducing water waste and to reduce energy waste. Another side is purchasing products that have the recycled and biodegradable icon on them. We have 39% of respondents that sometimes consider to purchase this kind of products, and 28% of respondents which declare that they often consider purchasing products which have a recycled or biodegradable icon on them. I will still be an advocate on this because it will be helpful for the environment and helpful for us, and never, even though maybe sometimes things that have the recycled or biodegradable icon on them may be a little bit higher in price, still having the newest appliances, like the previous question, and having products that are environmentally friendly will be beneficial for us in the long term. As I forgot to mention that the best benefit actually for having home appliances with the newest features is that we will have also a lower bill on electricity and water. So that is the benefit that we want mostly in our household. having into consideration that plastic take a long time to decompose in nature, and the process of recycling is very it has a negative side effect in terms of air pollution. I have posed the question on how often do you avoid purchasing plastic materials, and the result is that 25% of households consider to often avoid purchasing plastic materials, and 39%, which is the highest percentage, sometimes consider this practice. Rarely we have 22%, and unfortunately only 3% of the households that I have sent the questionnaire to responded that they avoid purchasing plastic materials. The other question is that how often do you consider using a bicycle or other forms of transport for daily activities? 18% of respondents regularly do this practice. Sometimes we have 22, and never it's 21%. I have posted the question of how often do you try to reduce water waste. The practices that are done on a regular basis and often are pretty high, which is a good indicator for us, as 35% of respondents are in a regular basis for this practice, and around 30% often consider for this behavior. Also, around 23 of our respondents consider to sometimes practice the reduction of water waste. They focus on that. Another side of the questionnaire is I have posted this question on how often do you buy long lifespan products instead of single-use products. As an example, I have given in the questionnaire wet wipes, as we know that they will probably take, most of them don't have the option for recycling, as I know, and in terms of waste, there will be additional waste when we use single-use products. So in order to avoid this, we want to focus on products that are long life. So around 22% of respondents have stated that they buy long life products in a regular basis. Often we have 35%, and sometimes we have around 30%, which the results are pretty satisfactory. Yet still, we have space for improvement. The next question was regarding the zero waste concept. I have asked the respondents if they are familiar with the zero waste concept, and the options for answering were that they are very familiar with it and they practice it. They are familiar with it, just they are known, and but they don't practice it on a daily basis. And the other one to be not familiar at all with this concept. Unfortunately, we have a high percentage of responding on not being familiar at all. Only around 38% are familiar, but they don't practice it, and only around 70% of respondents are familiar and practice this concept. I have posted a question on whether do they have installed solar panels at home, and unfortunately from the sample that I used from the respondents that have gone through this questionnaire, 84% of them don't have installed solar panels. and the idea of switching to electric cars as a mean of transport to avoid additional energy, air pollution. 74% of respondents are ready to move into other means of transport for the sake of air pollution and reduced energy waste. Around 5% answered that they wouldn't consider this practice, and 21% are maybe. Yes, but maybe no. As we went through the results of the questionnaire, there are still changes to be made. Fortunately, North Macedonia is engaged into a lot of initiatives from the EU, the LIFE program, which is ongoing, and several initiatives that support public and private organizations in terms of implementing circular economy. But there is still information that we can give, and improvements that we can make as consumers in our daily choices for the sake of our environment and to be able to reduce waste. This was all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, dear Edita. Thank you for your results and very comprehensive research. Now we have two more presentations. Dr. Altan Alebeloglu from Turkey.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I will share my presentation. Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi everyone, I am Assistant Professor Altan Alebeloglu from Haliç University. In this study, digitalization practices in agriculture, which are represented as a solution to the food crisis that is ongoing and predicted to expand, dependent by both ecological crisis and the urbanization problems, will be discussed on the Turkish scale. The effort to integrate the Turkish agriculture into this transformation will also be put forward on the scale of the agricultural public policies. In this presentation, I will focus on the three questions. The first one is what does digitalization or the smart agriculture in agriculture refer to? The second one, what are the trends and the developments in the smart agriculture in the world? And the last one, where is Turkey in this transformation in terms of both technological developments and the agricultural public policies? If I start with the first question, digitalization and the smart agriculture applications in agriculture are a topic discussed within the industry for the 4.0 paradigm and the agricultural 4.0 applications. The concept is used with reference to the development of the digital monitoring tracking system in agriculture production and the structural transformation in production techniques within this framework. This transformation targets in innovation solutions that will enable yield prediction with simultaneously traceability in the determination of the soil quality and the organic structure, drainage and the irrigation practices, plant production practices, and the harvest techniques. These solutions include the artificial intelligence, genetic algorithm methods, machine learning, and the deep learning techniques. Therefore, agricultural 4.0 applications include a paradigm that aims to increase the production efficiency and product quality centered on the perfect perception, processing, and the intervention of the real-time data in agricultural production. The statistics shows the market volume of smart farming worldwide in 2021 and provided a forecast for 2022 to 2027. The global market size of the smart agriculture is expected to grow from approximately $15 billion to $33 billion. Internet of Things, IoT, is the most influential agricultural tech innovation of 2022. IoT is a sensor that can monitor crops in real time and offers the farmers insight into crops that would previously have to be collected manually. Robotics and artificial intelligence are the second and the third most influential agricultural tech innovations of the 22. The total global market size of the agricultural technology as a service stood at about $1.1 billion in 2020. The software as a service is responsible for the majority of the market with $800 billion, a share of the around 73%. The global market for the agricultural sensors is expected to increase significantly by 2026. Sensors that have applications for water management and soil management are expected to more than double from the 21 to 26, reaching a volume about $3.1 billion and $3.9 billion respectively. The sensors for the climate management are forecast to grow by almost $400 billion from 20 to 26. These statistics show the size of the farm management software and the services market worldwide in 2020 and 26. In 2020, the global farm management software and services market was valued at $1 billion worldwide and is expected to grow to over $5 billion, and increasing demand for cloud services as well as the government indicates promotion involved farming practices and the cost efficiencies are contributing to market growth. In 2021, agricultural technology startup companies received funding of about $53.2 billion and increased from about $27 billion in the previous years. If you focus on the second question, where is the Turkey in this transformation in terms of both technological developments and agricultural public policies? According to the competitiveness index, it seems that Turkey is in the middle of the world rankings in the innovation and the technological readiness components. When we look at the medium-term targets of the Ministry of Development for 2024-2026, we see that the high-tech production techniques, renewable resources, energy efficiency, electrification, and the circular economy policies, variable agricultural practices, and the digital applications are on the program in the agriculture. We can also see the list of the technological developments made in Turkey in this slide. The agricultural land management portal, animal tracking system, park management system, beef registration system, agricultural portal, and the digital agricultural market, and so on. These applications are important and promising applications for transformation in agriculture. However, agricultural public policies, which are the other side of the transformation, described as another dimension according to the official data. As we see in the figure, the share of the agriculture in the economy has shown a decreasing trend since 1998. The roots of this transformation in agriculture can be found in the agricultural policies implemented since the 1980s. In this period, we see that both the number and the scope of support for the products subject to agricultural support purchases are limited. The growth of the Turkish economy based on the increased debt also manifested itself in agricultural sector too. As seen in the figure, the ratio of the agricultural loans to the GDP increasing steadily. It can be seen in the figure that the agricultural supports remain limited and very small. In 2006, support for the agriculture amounted to 6 per thousand of national income. The supports provided in the last 70 years, corresponding to only 2.4% of the 2023 GDP, while the total volume of support purchases decreases in the 1980s, the number of support products increased from 20 to 9. According to the official data, it seems that there has been a decline in agricultural areas since 2001, and its decline has been experienced largely in grains and the other plants products. In conclusion, it's obvious that the agriculture has some problems with the traditional methods. For example, the soil quality and the organic structure, the drainage and the irrigation applications, seed selection and the planting method, soil and the plant innovation applications, or the plant production applications, or the harvest techniques. And we also see that the smart agricultural applications offer us opportunities. For example, increasing the effectiveness of the value chain, increasing the product efficiency, management decision support systems. However, it is of great importance to maintain the public and the economic policies in supporting manner in this transformation. Although many countries in the world try to produce technology-based solutions to food management, maintaining a public and the economic policy that will include the structural problems in agricultural production is the key to this transformation. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Dr. Alton. And now, do you have some questions from the public? Okay, if not, then we are moving on with the last one, Dr. Erbek.
Is my turn?
Esra is here. Okay, Esra, please share with us your presentation.
Okay. Wait a second. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Esra. We are coming from Haliç University. We studied with Dr. Erbek. And our topic is the bibliometric analysis on sustainability and green growth. We want to explore trends and themes and give some overview on it. Since it is the last presentation before the lunch, I just want to jump into the methodology part, if it is possible for you. So, as a methodology, we use bibliometric analysis. Bibliometric analysis is focused on the quantitative assessment of research within a certain area. And the primary advantage of this technique is the establishment of a retrospective examination that identifies the most notable patterns in the literature from the past and current. And this method provides us a general summary, as well as the development of the subject over the time, and the contribution of the authors to the topic. And we can see the collaboration with the authors. A great number of studies have been undertaken by bibliometric analysts. For example, on econometrics, economics, entrepreneurship, and sustainability. This technique makes it quite simple for the academics to track the trends and find the gaps and fill them. And for the practitioners, it's also easy to implement and give some, make some overview, and that's why it's useful for them too. Another plus is it enables us to examine the massive volumes of data. This is why we use this method. In this research, we have searched for the sustainability and green economy terms. on Scopus database without limitation on document type, as well as in English language since 1990. We limit the discipline to the social science, and this is the query written here. We use our language with the package called bibliometry. This is the overview of the 5 peaks. In the table we can see the time span. The study is from 1990 to today. So, almost 67% of the whole document is articles, etc. This is the line graph, illustrates the number of articles from 1990. Overall, the number of the studies increased stably over the period. The highest number of articles published recently, the number of articles is almost 20. After 2020, the number of articles rose, as you may see. This rise, if you want to interpret this the graph, this rise is a parallel to the European Green Deal and Sustainable Development Goals. This is the scientific diagram. On the left-hand side, we can see the authors. In the middle, we can see the key terms, and on right-hand side, we see the journals, as you may see. The most used search terms are green growth, sustainable development, sustainability, green economy. And the most published works published on the journals like Sustainability, Environmental Science and Pollution Research. We can see the direct flow between the columns. So as we can see, the blend of the works related to green growth work published on sustainability. This is the pie chart of the articles and the authors. So 27% of the articles published on sustainability, and 16% of the articles written by Pesera. This chart also shows the local impact by the Hashir mix. The first one is the Journal of Cleaner Production, the second one is Sustainability, and so on. This is the most cited countries. The first one is China, second one is UK, and third one is USA. When we look into the authors, we see their countries, and we also see that if they are collaborate with the authors from another countries. This is also shows us the number of works. For example, by China, there has been many works. Here we can see the cited references. The first one is by World Bank, and second one is by OECD. And their citations are 63 respectively. This one is also for the terms. For example, sustainable development is the most relevant word. And the second one is economic development, China, economic growth. We can see the number. We can see the frequencies
here. This is the word cloud. The most frequent word is the sustainable development, as we can see. This is also a heat map. For example, if it is yeah, the more used word, the darker it is. This shows the also terms, but also gives some information about the niche themes. For example, biodiversity, ecological economics can be studied for future. This is co-citation analysis. And this is my last slide. And we just did some bibliometric analysis to summarize most relevant sources and collected on Scopus database. And the keywords were sustainability and green growth. As a result, we see the most publications are articles, and studies have gained momentum since 2017. The most cited works given here, and the most used terms are sustainable development, economic development, and China. The last one is the niche themes are conservation of natural sources, biodiversity, and ecological economics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was really very deep research. We are waiting for your paper. And do you have any questions? If not, then we'll make a break for lunch now. How many minutes? 20? We are closing the session number 2. Okay.
We will continue with the paper presentations. Miss Alicia Volny-Dominiak, can you hear us?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, we can hear you. All clear.
All right. Hello.
Yes,
hello.
we can.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So my name is Alicia Volny-Dominiak, and I came from Poland, and I represent the University of Economics in Katowice. And I would like to present my paper. It's about insurance business and insurance industry. So I would like to share my screen. I would like to share my presentation. Okay, so can I continue?
Of course.
Because I can hear someone.
I believe from the other university, International Balkan University, could you please turn off your mics? Thank you so much. Okay, yes, you may continue now.
All right, thank you very much. So I would like to present my work. It's called Total Value of Claims in the Motor Multi-Peril Portfolio. So as I said, it's about management of insurance business. It could be done from the point of view of some insurance company, but also from the point of view of the total market of some country. So I used, for example, the database from Brazil, and because in Brazil there is a very good accounting, and they collect all the data from every insurance company and has to share the data in common. So the database from Brazil data is very insurance data is very detailed. But first, I would like to say something about the part of industry I analyze. Of course, insurance is a very short and a very wide field. I'm going to talk only about life insurance, which is a part of the non-life insurance. And usually in non-life insurance companies, motor insurance is a quite important part of all the portfolio. So we call it LOB, it's line of business. So usually non-life insurance company has more LOBs, yeah, than one. But usually motor insurance is most important. So the most percentage of portfolio is like from motor. It could be also, let's say, the other is property insurance. Yeah, but and insurance management is very important to manage crimes, of course. Yes, because insurance is such a specific business, then the company first has income, like a premium from the policies, but then it could be a cost, like paying claims. Of course, with some probability, yeah. So usually we don't know what will be the cost in the future. It's up to the how many clients will be during the period where all policyholders keep the policy. So that's it's so important. So, and I would like to propose a statistical model based on longitudinal data, which gives the possibility, which gives the possibility to predict the future value of claims from some portfolio. Like I'm not looking only for one policy, but from the total value of all policies in portfolio. And the portfolio could be seen as the portfolio of all insurance companies from, let's say, one country. But it could be also from the point of view of one insurance company. And insurance company has his own portfolio. And in the portfolio, there are like, portfolio is basically a group of policies. Could be auto casco policy and motor insurance, or of course obligatory third-party liability insurance. So, but anyway, now it's like common to cover few risks in one policy. Let's say in motor portfolio, we've got like we could have a policy which covers which covers, let's say, partial collision coverage is one risk, and claims from other covers, let's say, assistance, yeah, it's the other risk. So basically, it's called multi-peril risk. So this one risk and this one risk, there are two other risks. So basically, normally, I can analyze and predict this risk like separately. You have to take data about partial collision, data about other collisions from assistance, let's say, and it will be like. But of course, it's like independence analysis. But these two logs comes from one policy. Let's say for one person, for one car, it should be the dependency between these two risks should be taken into consideration. So I propose the statistical model in which this dependency between risks in multivariate policy is taken into consideration. But what is finally the goal? The goal is to predict the total value of claims in all portfolio. So basically, when we got the longitudinal data, we got the data from time and also few policies. And in this policy, there are few perils. So there are like two types of dependency. Time dependency, time dependency, like usually in longitudinal data analysis, and dependency between perils for one policy holder. So there's a problem in this approach, so dependency change into calculations. So of course, That's why when we see total value of clients, usually the portfolio of insurance is analyzed in 1 year. So like current, and every policy can be short and some point of time in this year. That's first, of course, the simplest when it's February. Yeah. So then the policy is covered all year. And but of course, could be a different month. So that's why I can divide the total value of claims or into observed part and unobserved part. Yeah, because of this time. And the problem is, of course, when I've got observed time, yeah. So that's why I just got the sum of all what I know from history. But the problem is what is unobserved. So in the model, I propose to predict unobserved part using the history of the data. And so now I'm gonna show some statistics about the model. As I said, statistical model. What is important in the business that every policy, multi-party policy, can be described in that way. So, client for policy is the sum of every clients divided into varies. So, but I put it together. So this is the sum of all clients from all varies. Of course, it could be statistically described like that I got the number of claims, and I assume some average of the claim, and I put it together. So this is the total value of claims for one policy, and then I got total value of claims from all total values for all policies. So usually, of course, I can predict this total value for policies, but separately. But I put it together, so I need to take into consideration the dependency. So that's why my model, usually when we've done normal regression of training tests, all effects in regression are fixed, but I've got regression model factors influence the claims, like the age of policyholder, the age of the car, the engine, stuff like that. And also, I have this is it shows the dependency between risks and between policies and their portfolio. Of course, in statistical model, I have some assumption about the distribution of claims. Of course, it's not normal in industry and the insurance industry don't have normal distribution because it's already skewed. So it could be gamma distribution or log normal or inverse Gaussian distribution. So this is the assumption in my model. This is the assumption of the value price for one person. Yeah. So as I said, the value of claim to all portfolio. This is basically the sum. But I got oh, I don't know. So in that part, I got this unobserved part. So basically, as I said, the goal is to predict the total value of claims in unobserved part. It could be like for the future in this 1 year, when I got, let's say, when I am June I predict or July, another month, and the year. Also, it could be the unobserved part, it could be for some kind of factors. Let's say I just got all observation for men, yeah, so I need to predict for women, yes, in my sample. So it could be also a child, but yes. So anyway, I got the input data is, as I said, longitudinal. Okay, so in that model, here the value of the total value of claim for policyholder, and UJ is this is a random factor. It's represents total value, and it's represent the between dependency and varies. here, asymptotic normal distribution is like a general linear mixed model to put some logarithms, so the inverse of the logarithm is exponents. So that's why basically I use like that kind of regression. So here I've got regression factors, but it's not like normal linear model, but because of the gamma distribution. So I've got log linear model. Yes. And as I've got here, this part is so I said this is like a random part which responds for dependency. But also with some like unobserved factors. So it could represent also some kind of skills of drivers. So I cannot observe something like that. So in this model, of course, the problem is how to estimate parameters better, and unknown, of course, and how to predict the random variable EUJ. So maybe I know more about statistics, and because I use our program and for my data, as I said, it's basic data from the market. So I've got data about the co-pairings. It's like motor insurance. It's like 400. It's 8,619 cars, like policies, data, and I've got four pairings, and in that pairings I've got claims from the cover, partial collision, cover collision, and other like systems. And I collect the data, predicted about what the claims from unobserved part, from what I show. And so as a result, for the randomization of the random variable, I do not observe it. So this model is quite flexible, and yeah, it's just like I assume. Yes, well, the model is quite flexible. I use to estimate parameters. I use R program and the package called Swapper. So the package gives the possibility to estimate parameters, forecast random effects, but also calculate accuracy measures for market prediction. So finally, I've got here my results. So the total value is as observed part is like so yeah, like here 3 million for more than 3.5 million pesos. Total value of claims of observed part, and I predict like 2,400 more values of claim should be added to the portfolio to manage all portfolio for this for my portfolio. So this is the unobserved part I predict. So the model is quite flexible, as it could be change the assumption about the total claim distribution. I use gamma distribution here. Or it could be very useful for insurance company to manage the claim intensity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Do we have any question? Okay, so now, thank you. We will invite Associate Professor Aybar Ustabaş and Dr. Ayşe Sayma Döner to present their presentations.
Yeah, I'll be doing the presentation because my colleague Ayfer Hoca isn't available, so I'll be doing the presentation. So let me share the. I'm trying to. Okay, that's perfect.
Okay, we are waiting.
Yeah, I'm trying to speed. Okay, let me just try to make it Is it full screen on your app too?
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So our study is about the battery production during the transition to green economy era. And we have deployed a network analysis to show the interfirm relationships between the battery suppliers, the manufacturers, and the EV, the electrical vehicles manufacturer. So let me give you the aims we have aimed when starting this study. The first aim was to investigate the evolution of the main actors of battery production. And we have used the network analysis, as I'm giving you the hint, for the period of 1997 up to now. So why did we start from 1997? Because that was the oldest agreement that we have found, which was between Toyota and Panasonic. And then from there on, we have just traced down all the other agreements between the battery manufacturers and the EV makers. And once we just built the network, then we were able to trace the relocation of battery manufacturing process. And finally, when we take a look at the recent network, we were able to understand the impact of COVID-19 on these processes. So let me just start giving you some figures, some numbers about this market to show you the importance of the electrical vehicles market. So we see an exponential growth in sales, which is exceeding 10 million cars in 2022. And so that's the latest statistics showing us. And a total of 14% of all new cars in 2022 were electric, and it was only 9% 1 year ago in 2021. And we also see that China is dominating this market, both the sales and the production also. So in 2022, China with 60%, Europe with 21%, and US with 8% dominated the global electric car sales. So this increase in demand for EVs, the electrical vehicles, is also driving the demand for batteries and the critical minerals which are used to produce those batteries. And we see that the manufacturers and also the countries, they are not only racing for the battery production, so there is a competition on one part, but also there is a side of collaboration to be ahead of the technology race. So we know that the company and the country as well, which will dominate the battery market, will also dominate the electrification of vehicles. So when we take a look at the situation in the battery market, it is following the same tendency as we have seen in the EV market. So in 2022, the global EV market size, the battery market size, was valued at $56.4 billion, and it was only $450 million in 2015. So we see almost a tenfold increase just in 7 years. So the increase in battery market is really important. And it is also estimated to reach 134.6 billion by 2027. So in 5 years, we're expecting to have a threefold increase in this market size. So we see that that we see as an expansion in this electrical vehicles market, both from the vehicle side and the battery side. And also we see that the manufacturing process is highly concentrated, especially in China. And in 2022, again, the latest statistics shows us that 35% of exported cars was coming from China. And we already saw that in the previous slide. We saw that 60% of all electric cars are sold in China. So China is both the major actor in production and also a major buyer in the electric vehicle market. And we also see that there are other countries, of course, in China, Japan, and South Korea. So we see a dominance of Asian countries already. And the dynamic development of battery industry and electrification of mobility will therefore some strategic implications regarding this large value chain, which is today redefining and redesigning for the supply chain sustainability, the resilience, the security during this transition to clean energy era. So I have told you that we have deployed the network analysis, the social network analysis, to put forward the manufacturers, the battery manufacturers who are leading this race. So in order to just apply this network analysis, we first of all built our network with nodes. Nodes being the EV makers on one side and battery makers on the other side, which are connected to each other by links. And those links were the research agreements or the supply agreements between EV makers and battery makers. So once we have built this network, we try to identify the most influential battery manufacturers based on their connectedness in this network. And let me just give you some measures that we used to identify this level of connectedness. We use the centrality measures using the UCNet network analysis program. And there are 3 of them actually. Degree centrality gave us the number of connections held by each node being the battery manufacturer in this case, and it let us identify the most connected actor. Between the centrality, again, this is another measure, it's about the number of times a given actor, let me just replace node by actor, so number of times a given actor acts as a bridge between 2 actors that are not directly connected, and it gives us it allows us to identify the actors influencing the flow of information, and also the actors influencing the collaborations, and finally the closeness centrality. This one is a bit trickier than the other 2. So it measures it calculates the shortest paths between all nodes and assigns each node a score based on its sum of shortest paths. So when an actor has a node has a high closest centrality measure, it means that it is best placed in the network to influence the entire network very quickly. So in the network, we have this is an analysis during a certain period of time, starting from the 1997 to today. But we had to divide this whole period in 4 different periods. So the first one is from 1997 to 2009. And then from 2010 to 17, then from 2018 to 2019, and finally the final period will be the period of COVID-19. So it's from 2020 through today. So when building this network, constructing this network, we have taken an agreement made in a given year as the start of a relation. So as I told you, in 1997, the first agreement was made between Toyota and Panasonic, and since they have started their relation, their industrial relation at that time, and as when you know someone, you cannot unknow that someone. So once the relation starts, we assume that it will continue until today. So that's why, like a relation started in 2000 will be considered continuing in 2019 and 2023 as well. So let me show you some the networks that we have built and analyzed. So this is the first period. Here, as you can see, we have red dots and circles and blue squares. So the blue squares are the EV makers and the red dots are the battery manufacturers. In total, we have 32 actors with 14 battery makers and 18 EV makers. And when we take a look at the centrality measures, we see that this period is mostly dominated by the US-based battery makers. So the most connected ones with the highest centrality measures was A123 and US-based battery maker, Johnson Controls and Anadel. So they are all US-based. And Johnson Controls followed by Anadel and LG Chem, a Korean battery manufacturer. They were keeping the shortest path to other nodes. So it was the betweenness centrality that we measured here. And when we take a look at the closeness centrality, to identify the actor which is influencing the entire network very quickly, this is Johnson Control, is being the most influential battery maker. So when we move on to the next period, so period between 2010 and 2017, of course there are many more actors right now. So we have in total 61 actors. 24 of them are battery makers, 37 of them are EV makers, and we see that we see already a relocation of the battery manufacturing process from west towards east. So in the previous period, the US was dominating the market, but now we see that it's Asia, it's Korea, with LG Chem dominating the market. And also in this market, let me tell you that there are many mergers and acquisitions. So one of the actor A123, which was one of the influential actor in the previous period and US-based, initially a US-based manufacturer, it was acquired by Chinese company Wanxiang in 2013. But it's again, A123 is again, continues to be an influential actor in the second period also. But of course, LG Chem is dominating in all parts of the centrality measures, let me tell you. So it has the highest number of connections within the network. It is the closest battery maker to all actors and has the shortest path to all other actors. And again, it's it keeps the best position to control all the network, all the collaboration in the network. So in the next period, we see still the dominance of LG Chem, the dominance of Korea. But when you take a look at the second place manufacturers, we see a new actor that a new actor was coming up. That was CATL, the Chinese manufacturer. So already, as you can see, the networks are getting more and more complex when we move throughout the year. So that's the situation of network at the end of 2019, just before the pandemic has started. LG still was the leader, and we have also seen, as I told you, the rising star, CATL. And A123 again, so that's as I've given you the hint, it was acquired by Chinese. So we see that the Chinese manufacturers are really starting to dominate the network of battery manufacturing. So they are the most connected ones. They keep the shortest path, and they are also linking the nodes which are not directly connected. So they have the advantage to start new collaborations. So when we take a look at the final situation, final network, here I haven't given any picture of a network because we have just started the preliminary studies there. But this graph is already speaking for itself. So this is the final situation for the market shares between the battery manufacturers among the battery manufacturers. So we already saw in the previous period, CATL was coming. That we saw that. And when we come to 2023, when you take a look at the market shares, CATL has already become the leader in the battery market. So, and it's by far, I mean, as you can see, 2020, it's the year which is the pandemic, when the pandemic started. And we see a disruption for LG Energy Solution, LG Chem, and we see that CATL, which is a Chinese company, and as you remember, COVID-19 had started in China, but they didn't stop them. So they just continued to rise. And we see that today, actually, at the end of this, so toward the end of 2023, we see clearly the leadership of Chinese manufacturers. So we already see, let me just summarize what we have seen in this study. This analysis pointed us to two important results, actually, but it's coinciding with the international trade literature. So the first one was the relocation of manufacturing process. So we first of all saw that the battery manufacturing process was dominated by Western countries, US primarily, and then it shifted towards Asian countries, starting from South Korea, and then it moved to China. And now today, China is dominating the market, both the electric car market and the battery manufacturing market. And secondly, the second important result that we have concluded is that it showed us the importance of innovative efforts during crisis. So, because the most interesting part was when the COVID-19 had started in China and also hit China severely. How can a Chinese manufacturer come out of it as a leader? That was the question, because normally, yes, we see that at the end of the 2019, just before the pandemic, we already saw that CATL was coming as a Chinese manufacturer, was coming to outrun the LG Chem, the Korean company. But the pandemic didn't stop them. So what was the cause? We were wondering about the causes of the success, and it's actually in a way the government support for innovative activities. We saw that the Chinese government will continue to support the innovative activities in battery manufacturing process because it's a really strategic sector. And also there is also the fact that China has rich mineral reserves which are used as resources for batteries. So that's also another point which helps China to not knocked down by the COVID-19 in this industry. So as a result of the government support and the let's say, the gift of nature for China, having the rich mineral reserves, it helped the Chinese firms to adapt more easily to the new order by strengthening their resilience. So in the end, we have concluded that the study may have really significant implications for policymakers. So because you may have disruptions in the global supply chain, as we have seen in COVID-19 period, but if you continue to just support the companies in their innovative activities, the government can also help those sectors, those industries to thrive and to become resilient to future crises also. So that's my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you. So the next is Associate Professor Sabri Öz and Dr. Mustafa Fethi Ağlar. Are you here?
Dr. Mustafa is not here, so that's why he gave me his chair. And he's going to arrive something like 4. So then I was just after him, but I think he talked to the committee again.
Okay, that's perfect. You may start.
All right. So, first of all, thank you for all speakers. I'm really impressed, and I'd like to share the opportunities together with the other speakers. So, if I could have found the time together to sit around the table and discuss about the opportunities, but today we cannot do such a thing. So then my topic is related with the industry 4.0 in the chemical industry. So I mean the chemical industry is one of the most major industries. Let's have a look at how big it is. So then the global chemical industry covers around $4 trillion with the essential of materials with 95% of all manufactured goods worldwide. And these are very essential things like fertilizers, catalysts, and then some other things that can be used for the other plastics. I intentionally put this picture because I just wanted to show you how manual was it during the last decades. Also, it is also related to the cleaning solutions and the automobiles and the other things related to plastics. So then chemical sectors, if we go on